people will frequently come to me and say something along the lines of my son or daughter or cousin or a younger relative of mine is interested in art, and can you give me some advice to them or somehow what should they do to kind of help them? And frequently, what I'll tell them is probably the best thing I think you can do if you have a young person in your life who's interested in being an artist. Probably the best thing you can do is buy, I would say, buy them a sketchbook and encourage them to draw. And I'm always saying, oh, I wish I'd have had a sketchbook when I was younger. And recently, I was at my parents' house. It's been a few. It's probably a year ago. I was at my parents' house, and my mom had a box of stuff, and I found this in my box. This is Scott's art book. I don't remember drawing much of this. This is not a sketchbook. This is something a loose leaf thing that I made. I did not have a sketchbook when I was a kid. I do have one that I got, I think in junior high school, something like that. It doesn't have a lot in it, and but this is one, and I think I drew in this around second grade, and I'll say this: I come kind of from a pretty creative / artistic family. A lot of my relatives are musicians, amateur musicians, I would say, but pretty good ones. My grandfather did play drums professionally as a side gig. I don't know that he ever did it full time. He had other jobs, but he did play professionally quite a bit. In fact, played in the band at the Japanese surrender after World War II on the I think it was the Missouri. I do have a cousin who's a professional artist, and so I grew up. My grandmother was an interior decorator, and so I grew up being encouraged to draw a lot. And so when I found this, I wasn't surprised. And some of the drawings in here I do remember doing, but I thought it'd be kind of cool to share this. And I think I did this around second grade, so maybe I would have been about 7. And so start off, I don't remember this at all, but this does look like something that I would have drawn when I was a kid. About when I was young, I don't know, it probably was second or third grade, something like that. Maybe a little bit older than that. But I grew up in a small town in Oklahoma, and they got a soccer league. Soccer came to town. I played the first year of the soccer league. In fact, our team won the state championship. I was not a star on the soccer team by any means, but for a while I was immersed in it. I had a coach. Our coach was a student at the University of Oklahoma from Iran. Now this would have been before the Shah fell and everything that went on, the revolution of what is it, 79, 80, something like that. So this was before that by several years. But my coach's name was Ali. I remember him. So my dad took me to practice the first day, and Ali had he could speak English, but us kids didn't understand it super great. My dad could understand him a little bit better than us kids, kids are. And so my dad became kind of the assistant coach, which led to my dad being a coach for soccer for years, because my brother played after I did. My brother played all the way through high school and played on interleague after school. But anyway, so this was a drawing. Of course, this is a soccer ball and a goalie and a soccer net. And of course, this Scott's art book. And like I said, it's loose. This is a piece of, and in fact, I remember this pad I drew this in. It was kind of it's almost like a big construction paper pad that it was nothing on the back, but it's glue bound at the top. And so apparently I drew this in it. I kept these drawings in here. And so I thought it'd be kind of fun to look at these drawings and talk about them. So this was, I do remember doing this. I don't know what grade I was in. It was watercolors. It was early. I was elementary school. We had studied Christopher Columbus, And this is one of the ships. I don't know which one it was, the Nina, the Pinta, or the Santa Maria. But I remember I drew this, and this is very typical of me at the time. I drew this, and I drew it's a volcano going off. So wherever Christopher Columbus was going, he was not going to America. I don't know where he's going, but there was a volcano going off in my version. I remember when I was a kid, my mom asked me, "Why can't you ever draw anything nice?" And so that was that. And the next one I remember drawing also, I mean, vaguely. I don't remember. As a very young kid, I discovered Star Trek in reruns. And so this is a television. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's a remote. I don't think we had a remote television. You can see you had rabbit ears, and they're watching Star Trek on TV, and then the Enterprise is out the window. I remember drawing this because I thought that was very clever, that here they're watching it. Here was the Enterprise coming along outside. This early signature. I don't know which way is the right way on this. This is, I don't remember doing this, but I kind of like it. It's kind of a neat design. Anyway, it appears to be crayon. Let's see. Oh, here, let me talk about this. Another one. I don't remember drawing this, but I know what this is for. They were always doing like art contests for different things, and if you can't read cursive or can't read my cursive and my misspellings, it says don't charcoal or grill too close to the two things, they could burn. And so I have a picture of a man grilling, and he's obviously a good distance away from the house. There appears to be a wife inside watching him. I don't think that's my father. He's wearing a hat, but and I don't know what's going on here. It looks like maybe the kid is filling a lawnmower with gas. Anyway, probably shouldn't do that too close to the grill. But this was some sort of fire safety contest poster. I don't remember if I won. I don't know where I came up with the idea of don't grill too close to the house. It's always good advice. Anyway, okay, so here's, oh, let's see. Let's look at this one first. So here's another one. This is obviously a tree. You can see my signature. And I don't know what that is in the tree. I don't know. It looks like there's a knot or a hole in the tree, and looks like maybe there's a nest with a bird or something. I don't know what that is. The tree apparently has seen better days. I think that's a bird. Anyway, pretty, I was young. Okay, here, this is the one, and again, this is another one. I remember doing this, and this was, I mentioned that I have a cousin he is a few years older than me, and when I was young, I don't know exactly what age, when I was younger, he was in college, and he's an artist, and he showed me how perspective worked before we ever did it in school. And so this is a very typical 1-point perspective, and at the time they would do this. And a 1-point perspective is everything converges, and so if you're looking at a road, it all converges in the distance. Like if you look at a highway, how it kind of, and that's what this is. And typically, if you're learning perspective, and they'll show you 1-point perspective, they'll say, you draw like a road or railroad tracks or something that converges in the distance. Then you may do like telephone poles or tree, and so this was, I don't know if this tree is any better than my other trees. And this was, like I said, this was maybe, I don't know, 2nd or 3rd grade, something like that. But I remember as a kid being very impressed with this idea that even though as terrible as this drawing is, and scribbly as my color work is, that it actually like converged in the distance, and it actually had a sort of an appearance of depth. Anyway, that's the last drawing in here. Not a lot of drawings, but it's cool that I found this. Anyway, I thought I would share it. I think I've gotten a little better since then. But anyway, thank you for watching, and maybe, and again, I would say if you if you have a kid in your life who likes to draw, or and you want to kind of encourage them, that would be the one thing I would say, is encourage them to encourage them by giving them the materials and the opportunity to draw. And one of the things was, when I was a kid, I was always encouraged, and so the adults that I was around, other than, I said, my mom always said, "Why can't you draw nice stuff?" when I drew the volcano, but the adults that I was around always kind of encouraged me, and that sort of thing. I remember my grandparents, both all of my grandparents, especially being certainly supportive. But anyway, thank you for watching this. I hope that you enjoyed this, and if you have any comments below, feel free. Please don't comment the art is bad. I know it's bad. I was a kid. Anyway, and if you like this, you might watch my channel and watch some of my newer drawings. Like I said, I think I've gotten better. Anyway, thank you very much. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.